Mars is the fourth planet from the Sun and the second smallest planet in our solar system. Mars is known as a red planet due to the coloring of the planet. It's a terrestrial planet, and other terrestrial planets are Mercury, Venus, and Earth. Mars has two moons, Phobos and Deimos, and the surface temperature ranges from negative 150 degrees Celsius to 20 degrees Celsius. Mars is the fourth planet from the Sun and the second smallest planet in our solar system. Mars is known as a red planet due to the coloring. It's a terrestrial planet along with Mercury, Venus, and Earth. Mars has two moons, Phobos and Deimos, and the surface temperature ranges from negative 150 degrees Celsius to 20 degrees Celsius. There are many different features of Mars. Mars has a huge equatorial rift valley. It was formed by the rifting of the crust when it stretched. The tectonics on Mars are different from Earth because they seem to be vertical, with hot lava pushing up through the crust to the surface. They have the largest dust storms in our solar system, and they can cover the entire planet and last for months. They have many flat, low-lying plains and numerous craters. The largest is 1,400 miles wide. The first person to observe Mars with a telescope was Galileo. The first robot spacecraft was in the 1960s, and NASA touched down on the planet in 1976. There's been over 40 missions to Mars, including orbiters, landers, rovers, probes, and even flybys. The atmospheric composition of Mars is basically 95% carbon dioxide with nitrogen, argon, and oxygen carbon monoxide. They feel the core is a solid core consisting of iron, nickel, and sulfur. The mantle, peridotite, and the crust, volcanic rock basalt, which is numerous on the planet, and possibly andesite. Mars is covered with iron-rich minerals, and that's what gives the planet its bright rust color. There's a lot of loose dirt and rock that covers the surface. The tallest mountain in our solar system is on Mars, and it's a shield volcano. Lava flowed for long distances before solidifying, and that gave it its size. It's 21 kilometer high and 60 kilometer in diameter. There's other volcanic landforms also on Mars. There are small, steep-sided cones and huge plains coated in hardened lava. The planet of Mars has many channels, valleys, and gullies all over the planet. There's layered sediment in these areas, showing that at one time it had been filled with water. There's a large chasm that contains layers of rock, and within that there's thick beds of clay. And there's many craters, and the craters contain crossbeds, all that show that at one time there had been a large amount of water on the planet of Mars. The atmosphere on Mars is too cold and thin for liquid water, but the conditions on Mars indicate that water once existed there. They feel that there are reserves of water underneath ground that might surface eventually as springs. The atmosphere is made up of water, ice crystals, and clouds of dry ice. And they have polar ice caps that consist of water, ice, and dust. And there are continuous caps in both the hemispheres. In the future, NASA will be leading a manned mission to Mars by the 2030s. Mars One Colony Project will be sending citizens on a one-way trip to Mars. Millions of years from now, they predict that Mars will have a ring because his moon, Phobos, will tear apart by gravitational forces. There's always been a mystery about Mars, about water, and we're seeing that there has been the existence of water. Also, there's been life on Mars, and we've all seen the movies with the little green men from Mars, but it seems like the ones that are going to be inhabiting Mars in the future will be us. We're going to be the ones from Mars.